Again, just a reminder for anyone that needs interpretation in any of the channels, please go down into the interpretation channel down at the bottom of Zoom and select whichever language you would like to listen in. Thank you all. While we are waiting to begin, feel free to say hello from whichever part of the world you're in the chat, if you would like to. For those of you who have not visited Pulahari, this teaching is taking place in the Mahamudra Chachen Lakang, up on the top floor of the Rigbe Dorje Institute building at Pulahari. It is so nice to see so many Dharma brothers and sisters and everyone from around the world. New York, Nova Scotia, Spain, Chile. Thank you all so much. New Mexico, Kathmandu, Malaysia, Taiwan, China. Okay, I will share my screen now with the prayers for us to begin.
Lama karma pa kinguru kungi chunde sisi pengiru idam nanjurma chunde kungi chebu ongiru chigyon byoje chamde la nanjuru seji gubi dido chalme tukji kyon ra cho chuna shubhe sangye dan janju senpa tham che dan lama yang daba yungi kiwi shinjin chenpo dala gongsu su dala chingi labdu su dala chingi logi dhima tamje nyavara shivara chingi labdu su chingi malu me doba tamje kibara zidu su da tekwa chingi chiduba la barje tamje nyavara shivara chingi labdu su Allah da maju nangge tsananya de suje tamje prowa dungi gi gyatso le chalde namchen lana me de koban tamba la kwebar cha di chidu tambe chwe la che som kumsum ki kone shubar kyu nyambe kunong chanchu chodo tuke ba sab tabne tambe sambar shu.
Please listen to the teachings of the genuine Dharma with supreme motivation of bodhicitta, the mind of awakening, which resolves, I shall listen, contemplate, and meditate on the genuine Dharma in order to free all beings infinite in number, my kind parents, from this ocean of suffering that is samsara, and establish them in the unsurpassed state of omniscience.
Dela gang sembar je chige rimba jamgun lodi taigi sung lama kyangbu gi sandip mugi ningi sadev sheshawa di la sadip rimba sum yevale la rimba tangbu de shesar rimba niba yang palchar shesar rimba niba de palchar shesaware rimba niba shebe kapata.
Nade. Of all the topics of Dharma to which we could be listening, our subject matter is the text by Drunken Kuntrun Lodro Tai, known as Devotion That Pierces the Heart, a supplication for calling the Guru from afar. This text has 3 parts, and of these 3, of the first, and predominantly covered the essence of the second, which is the context we've arrived at now.
Hola. Tene 당어서 오 rimba nipa de la da sadep rimba mangbudu tinda de nga de sedi tenda kering ma do yomara tinda de sangwa ani shet sarsamare tin ji ga de ni din nang ne o sangi shoroga di sangi ngwenang lama miru sung tamsap tembe kering ngangi chi rangde majung chena hisegom seje namra tesum logde dit lama kena tuji nyudsi mögü time pyor jingilo se de disigap na tene yabu yonsare
The second part of this text has many subdivisions to it. Each verse is a distinct supplication, and we only have today left. So it's impossible to go through each and every one with the same detail that we've been using. However, if we focus on one essential verse, we'll be able to get the essence of the supplications. I'm going to put that verse in English in the chat. The verse reads, "My Guru, the actual embodiment of Buddha, I take for an ordinary human, quickly forgetting the kindness of teaching me the profound, essential instructions. When my wishes are not fulfilled, I despair, viewing my Guru's actions through a veil of doubt and wrong view. Master, know me, look on me swiftly with your great compassion. Bless me that my devotion increase without fading."
Hola, tinda da odi shegwe de garela na dene dinala diwa mangbudo dene di disegam na diwa mangbudo dinala diwa mangbudo gi len digi len chato sare tinda dene di shena yodo samsa.
In addition, there are many questions to answer, but many of the questions can be answered alongside an explanation of this verse. So it would be good to go ahead and do that so that these answers can be given alongside the explanation.
Hola. Ta diwa di any diwa dangbo di gardu lama sawe lama shibet da garere any sawe lama mena sawa tapsul sawa gandesta bugre diwa dangbo chik dire do.
Ready? So the many questions, the first is a two-part question. First, what is the meaning of the term root guru? And second, if we do not have a root guru, how is it that we are able to engage in supplication? How do we do that?
Allah, teni yang diwa didang diwa chik gardu lama chiur gomba da ningar gomba nila khabar garyo res.
Related to that question is another question that says, is there a difference between visualizing the guru at the crown of our head as opposed to in our heart?
All of that dini ki lendi or dini yang devachi gardula na dini ngai lama de thamal ba himba lang ngai tangnang gomne sangye re sam khongla so deba ina yang khongla sangye sangye gi thamje kimba me na ngala sangye gi chilap kandar nangs.
There is also a question that is similar to this that says, my guru is an ordinary person, but I consider them Buddha by means of cultivating pure view. Still, if I supplicate the guru who does not have the omniscience of the Buddhas, how can I attain the blessing of the Buddhas?
All young didn't double devachi gardula lama la so deba lama or lame gyune guru rumbache chilab shu ko midu osa din de guru rumbache la chilab shu na lama gi gyune ani shu ge garres to in sarati
Nare. So there's also a question that relates to Guru Rinpoche. If if we supplicate the Lama, how is it that we are able to get the blessing of Guru Rinpoche? Couldn't we directly pray to Guru Rinpoche instead of the Lama? How does the Lama give us the blessing of Guru Rinpoche?
all young didn't double do any mugi kebatamgi tokbaki yana any nganzo katu guru rumbache na oba me chinesi sok sange chanju semba namla sowa dena chindab chugire wes divine sara any mugi yana sange la mugi yana sange la katu sowa tamna sowe lama la temagowa lame gyune sowa temagowa katu sange la mugi jine sowa tamna chindab chugire wes divine sara.
So,
this someone you are tower do any did someone you do land the then tantanganas the any taller some lodana then land the someone you land ragger.
then there's yet another similar question that relates not only to Guru Rinpoche, but also Amitabha Buddha and Chenrezig, etc., all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Why can't we simply directly pray to them to receive the blessings rather than praying to the Lama to receive their blessings indirectly? All of these questions are quite similar in their substance, and they are very much related to the verse that I just mentioned, and that is in the chat in several languages now. If we consider an explanation of this verse with care, then we will find that all of these questions are answered.
That is Chitang the Lama Sanges Tago said, never to go again. In a Lama Sanges Tago said, Nagi, Keshira, Tumaiba. Toi Kapsutini, Givishin La Sanges Tago is never to go Yomare. Givishin La Sanges Tatuna Yabora. Tamatumna, Givishin the Korean, the Chinese Sambaina, Korean, and Susuki to shake Karishana. So Givishini, but the Kadin Chimbo in body, some gora. Sangel Kadin Hawa in body, some go gray. Any under the Givishini, the Kansa Sambuchigna, any Keverchin in body, some tango. Any Deba the Guba Gora. Rangle Lawe in Jinchimba, Tone Debadang, any cutting sangil have a cutting change everybody go away. Give us in the sangi in a mine and get sangi cutting sangil have one error. The Tolayang Chibareta. In a Sangas of Tagores and Dokasu Sunga Mare. In a Lama Sangas of Tagores and Naga Gidini. So Sungore. Or today, the Lama Sangas of Tawadi Lela Mare. In the Kran to do a Mawi ID. Kaya Mare. Lela Main Sangi and Dokasu Sangas Tagore Sunga Mara. Naga Sungra. Nagi Dujadi young, Toy Dujan Dagmar, Nagi Dujadi Ombo number. Ombo number in the Lama Garina in Lama Yinis and Dico Sangas Tatugra. Or things at the or Lama Sangis Tagore said, Nakos Gajer.
Let's be clear. It's not required to see the guru as the Buddha. This is a special feature of the secret mantra path, the Vajrayana, the Tantrayana or Mantrayana path. It is not necessarily the case that this is something that is required in other approaches. In fact, in the approach of the Mahayana in general, the Sutra approach, as opposed to the Tantra approach, we engage with teachers as spiritual friends, as masters, as mentors, and so forth. There's no indication there of seeing the teacher as a Buddha. Nevertheless, there is the feature of recognizing the great kindness of our teacher and having faith in the teacher. An individual who is greatly kind and noble in this way, who serves as our teacher, is a fit object for our faith and our devotion in this way. But there is no indication in the general Mahayana of the Sutra vehicle of seeing the guru, the teacher, as a Buddha. This is a particular feature of the Vajrayana, the secret mantra or Tantra path. With respect to the general approach, we still have this sense of having faith in the teacher, seeing that their excellent qualities are greater than our own. And there is still one common thread. The thread being that the teacher's kindness, however we see them, is greater still than the kindness of the Buddha himself. Whether we see the whether we see the guru as Buddha or not, that teacher, that guru's kindness is even greater with respect to us than the Buddha himself. So even though in the sutra approach, there is no indication of seeing the teacher as a Buddha, this is a principal feature of the secret mantra approach. It's not something that's easy to do. Seeing the guru as the Buddha is not easy. Hence, all these questions about what does this mean? Why is this necessary? It isn't necessary. It's not a requirement. It's a principal feature of one aspect of the Buddha's teachings, the secret mantra approach. In the secret mantra approach, this is a principal feature of practice that is not shared by the Sutrayana approach at all. The secret mantra is intended for practitioners of exceedingly sharp capacity who can penetrate through the difficulty of seeing the guru as Buddha and actually reap the benefits of this particular feature of the secret mantra.
Hola, Lama Sangis Tawadi. O Karsugro. Taway Mugi Nyamnendi, Hajangi, Nyamlin Ting Sabre. 진짜더니 공부는비 냠슬린 자리마도 상황이 되니 라마 상계수단에 무기념는 제투에 세진 제투에디 세단데마 제투에디 갖고라 진짜더니 나가서 상계기 되니 라마 상계수다고 그래서 나가서 숨거야지 공부는비 애니 깔와 인상 하장기드니 띵서보 똑하고 인상 진 성격이 똑없어 송요 말이네.
This view of supplicating the Guru as Buddha is the practice of devotion, reverent gratitude. It is an exceedingly subtle and profound practice, one accessible by practitioners of exceedingly sharp capacity. To engage in supplication in alignment with this reverent gratitude that is devotion in an authentic way, in a fully qualified way, as explained, is extremely difficult. It's the sphere of practice of the secret mantra of practitioners with exceedingly sharp capacity who have the fortunate predisposition for secret mantra practice. This extremely subtle, profound practice, difficult to comprehend, difficult to encompass with mind, is not something that the Buddha presents in the sutra vehicle because of its subtlety, profundity, and complexity.
Ola, tinde드니 Lama 상계수 따와디 각고래 희냐 Lama 상계수 따외 먹이기 이니 람지 제톱나 드니 람지 하장기양 걸속으로 탑사모 탑사모스나 사모들라 된다 니여라 사모들이 직또 각고 임베신에 사모라 직 거래라는데니 델럽되니 딕딥 중에당 소남기 소사야당 둥을 마야라 유숙쳐와 디인디는 가성 공도 시원하신 상아디 람 뉴르보 임바당 상아 람 뉴르보 임바디 아니 람기 닝볼라 람인 나주르 예베김 제레스 가성 시어서 상아 람 사모 임바디 람인 나주르기 아니 람인 나주르 람기 닝볼 제당 드니 람 사모레스 람 뉴르보레스 이 거래라는데 가서 나가 그 긴코르기 냠는 긴코르기 히담기 사이 냠는 저거라 말해.
Lari.
히담 사이 냠는 지도 가서 히담 사기 냠는 지야라더니 히담 사기 왕 톱거라.
Lari.
히담 사니 요 말아 가서 제가 말아 제투고 말아 가서 미기 히담 사 제가 미기 요 말아 가서 드니 왕 수기 난 그래. 히담 사단 대화 간에 차거래. 왕 맞았나? 오늘 라마기 있는 거라. 근데 라마는 히담 말아. 왕가리스토 그래. 히담니 제투고 말해. 라마니 히담 말해. 근데 왕가리스토 그래. 내가 들어. 제단들은 왕가리스토 그래라면 라마 히담도 통과 말해. 히담 가서 통통 말해. 라마 통통 말해. 라마 히담도 넘고 말해. 이런 거 히담으로 와 라마. 어제든 라마다 히담 이름에도 따니 왕토그라. 라마다 히담 이름에도 마다는 왕토에 믿어. 왕 마서는 항아기 냠는 지에 믿어.
This view of the Guru as actually the Buddha is a feature of the path that incorporates devotion, reverent gratitude. If we have the capacity to bring reverent gratitude, devotion onto the path, then it becomes an exquisitely profound method. What does it mean to say that this method is exquisitely profound? Well, let's look at this term profound. It actually has two connotations. Profound, at first, means that it's complex, it's subtle, it's not easy to comprehend. Second, not once comprehended, it is a way that has great power when it comes to purifying the obscurations, gathering accumulations, and eliminating suffering. This is the two senses of this term profound. If we're able to engage the path through this exquisitely profound method of devotion, reverent gratitude, it is, as explained at the very beginning of these teachings, it's what expedites the path. It's what speeds things up. It's what moves things along with ease. As we saw at the very beginning of this teaching, the very heart essence of the secret mantra is Guru Yoga. It is what actually makes the path a swift one. It's what, in English, you'd say, greases the wheels, moves things along with greater speed. And when we look at secret mantra practice, in secret mantra practice, we engage in the practices of the Yidam deity, the meditational deities with their full mandalas. And it is from the Yidam deity that we receive empowerment. This is a very important aspect of the path. It is the Yidam deity that is able to bestow the empowerment. But how are we connected to the Yidam deity? Our eyes don't directly perceive the Yidam deity. Our sensory experience does not immediately connect with the Yidam deity. So how do we actually connect with the Yidam deity in order to receive the empowerment? If we are using the Guru is not the Yidam. So how is the Guru able to bestow the empowerment? The Yidam is what bestows the empowerment. If the Guru is not the Yidam, then how can we actually receive the empowerment? That's the crux of the point. The Guru as the Yidam deity, inseparable, seeing the Guru as the Yidam deity is what makes that connection. The Yidam deity is not seen as the Guru. The Guru is not seen as the Yidam deity. Nevertheless, their essence is the same. The very essence of the Guru is the Yidam deity. When we're able to see that their essence is inseparable, then we are receptive to the empowerment that the Yidam deity bestows. The Guru serves as the connection. Otherwise, the Guru's here, the Yidam deity's there, and we're left without a connection to access the empowerments bestowed by the Yidam deity.
Hola. Tene indikaso tene la kasanga to pesha so sagya penjide ni Michelle tene nima gi tene med lentu gres Michelle ma de ba nima gaje sawa yana nimi megi tene na to kenik dang pushing sektu ma res kenik dang pushing se gi medi tene nima tene lentu gre ina Michelle ma de ba lentu ma res kasana dire Nima ma lentu mara ganzo. Chigine or did. In I said in Lama hidam to Gombadi, hidam to Lama hidam the enemy to Gombadi Karana, hidam life to Goranzo, hidam the life child. The minute Lama hidam Nazo Tomato. Then Wang Shemido. Wang to Vemido. Dida Tibare. Michel Lamadena, Nima Yong Tumare. In Nimi Megi, Nima Gazetawa and Yegi Nanga Tumbalara. Then they are pushing down the Guinea the Garis Setugre. Wishing the Guinea Yaketumara, Nimatala. Nima Yong Tumara. The Nimi were Gazetawa Yanang. In a mail and to Mare, Michel at any mail and to race, pay Dido, Tanga to Kadu Javayabadi, Lamarawa. Or the Lama Hidam to Gomno. Then Hidam the Javachado. Or the Lama Hidam to Gombe Mugudi, Karsagari Lamna. And Hidam the life shadow. The Hidam Gikingol Lashu, Hidam Wang top, then Hidam Gidam Jaira.
We saw an example of this from the Sakya Pandita, where we looked at the example of using the sun's energy, harnessing it to burn firewood. It is necessary to have a magnifying glass or a prism of some sort that intensifies the sun's rays onto the firewood in order to ignite the firewood. Without that magnifying glass, however hot the sun, the firewood won't ignite. So it depends on whether or not we had the magnifying glass to determine whether or not we're able to harness the energy of the sun to burn the firewood. It's a very similar situation with the meditation on the Yidam deity. When we see the Guru and the Yidam as inseparable, this is what gives life to the Yidam deity. This is what brings the Yidam deity to life. Otherwise, if we look at things ordinarily, the Guru is not the Yidam. We don't actually perceive the Yidam deity with our senses, and the Yidam deity is what bestows the empowerment. So everything's separate. There's no connection. We have no access to the empowerment the Yidam deity bestows. It is like not having the magnifying glass. No matter how hot the sun is, the firewood would not ignite. We can't carry the firewood up to the sun so that it catches fire. And the sun's not going to come down to the firewood so that it can ignite the firewood. If we want to ignite the firewood using the sun's energy, we need a link. We need something that connects the two directly, like the magnifying glass. The same thing happens in the context of the secret mantra practice of Yidam deity meditation. It is the Guru that is perceived as the Yidam deity that makes that vital connection, that brings them, that Yidam deity to life, that allows us to engage with the Yidam deity present in the mandala and to engage the practice with active presence.
All the pedi was a Michel Shagua. In a Michel di me say which an Nima the Tavora. Michel di Nima in a Nima the Tavora. Chitang Shell Sendagi the name Nima Million tomorrow. Normal glass, Chitangi glass tigi Nima Million tomorrow, Michel Gillen to grace. Tinza Michel Caberjengo. Or pay Dido. Any Lama Diang, Sini Samaji go grace, Lama la Hidam Gidushi Shagora, or the Hidam Gidushi, Hidam Dango Yermita, Lama de la Sini Sangore. She don't shield him, but I'm Michel him for a lagdo. Pay the girl and Lama de la Sini Sangore. Then it's Sini Sang Lama de la Kirang Hidam, Lama di the Nichitang Susikyo in a Kirang Hidam to Tana, Hidam Gizilla Jugre. The Lama la Sini Sangora.
When we look at our example of the firewood, the sun, and the magnifying glass, we see that there is a connection between the sun, that is the source of the energy, and the fire we are trying to ignite in the firewood using the magnifying glass. Without that similarity, it just won't happen. The sun isn't capable of igniting something other than fire because it is of a different substance. In addition, it's not just any old glass. We need a magnifying glass, a prism, something that actually functions to concentrate the rays of the sun in a particular place so that that energy ignites a fire. This is very much the case in the context of the Yidam meditation. Just like an ordinary piece of glass will never ignite the firewood, even if it is trained on the sun, we need to have the authentic, the fully qualified points of seeing the guru as the yidam, inseparable, in order for that link to be active, in order for it to be effective. In other words, all of the particular characteristics, the salient features of the guru need to be present. What are those salient features? It is seeing the guru as inseparable from the yidam deity. Even if they look like an ordinary being, we recognize the guru as inseparable from the yidam deity. And that's what actually allows us to engage the yidam deity to receive the empowerment. But it is crucial, essential, that the guru is seen in this fully qualified way with the salient features of being inseparable from the yidam.
Hola. Tinida any Lama di Chidang Tini Mambu Sung Yore. In a Tini Mambu Sung Yore, in a Tini Mambu Sung at the Chasang and Sankala Kabura, in at least Yungtala. Kare gore lamna tini lama gida hidam kare gi wang nang nayang hidam gi wang dang hidam di kome gi damga yora di khonre la khurang la gyuba yogora gyuba manyamba tobu gore toba yogore tini gyuba dila yang gyuba tobu yona yang damsi nyamso na lama nyamdo khurang gi lama dang tini lama nyamdo damsi nyamso na tini yang pengi maro di loma la pengi maro di dela damsi ki selmeba damsi tangma ko gore da giba di top chane damsi manyamba damsi tangma ko gore giba top la damsi manyamba ko do
Got it. There are many salient features that characterize the guru in this respect, and to bring them together in a perfect set is quite difficult. But at the very least, there needs to be the connection of the guru with the yidam deity, such that the teachings on the meditation practice and the stream of empowerments is unimpeded. In other words, there needs to be an unbroken lineage of the teachings on the yidam deity practice and empowerment that the guru holds without any interruption. In addition to that unbroken lineage, there needs to be an intact samaya, which is a Sanskrit word which means a sacred covenant, a sacred bond with the guru that also needs to be intact. If these two are not present, the lineage is not unbroken, and the sacred covenant is not intact, then there's no benefit that the disciple, the student or practitioner can reap. So it's absolutely necessary to have an unbroken lineage of the practice of the yidam deity, and that the sacred covenant with the guru has not been broken, has not been impeded in any way.
Hola. Tini didaveda damagi gyundi lama kurangi nyamni nangne ini nyamnyong tes kogura Then did the Namdu, then Kurangi that Loma Sula Nang di Tamadi. Any Loma della some dignity Zawayaba. Zawayabasano Loma di Crowale Toledan, Tarba Tuele, Tarba Tuegi, Pensum Yoba. Gogura. Loma de la Crowale Gumdegi, Samlo Yogura. The Gashimura.
Together with this unbroken stream of the transmission of the teachings on the Yidam deity and the uninterrupted sacred covenant, Samaya, it's also important for the guru to have engaged in the practice and to have at least a teensy bit of experience that comes from that practice. At least that much is important. Together with that, with respect to the student themselves, the guru needs to have a deep-going affection, the sense of love that comes from the depths from the innermost depths. And here, love specifically refers to the liberation from samsara and attainment of liberation itself. So it is the case that from the side of the guru and the student, there needs to be this mutual intentionality to be free of samsara and attain a liberation. This is also important for the student to have this connection with the guru as a source of protection from samsara and have a mutual intentionality to be free of samsara and attain liberation.
All of that did Yena, any Sangi the Tumbarawa. Karela, Dama top, any Dama Gu, Dama the Lama Kurangi Namnang, the Kembarawa. The Dama Dilla Dene Simjin, Rangi Loma de Dene, Dama Dilla Dene, Naming Gulaki, Compel the door, Tarchin, Sangi Kopong, Tobu, some Pensim Givadi, Ninjera, Zawarawa, the Sangi Nera. Sange the Jesus Tambara. Then Lama Gida, Rangi Kimbe, Kimba Digi, Loma Lamik with Sewa de la Tene, Kimba the Sewa Nigi Tene, any Dama Nawadela, Loma Gi Debajin and Yamnejena, any Kurang Gigi, Numong le Dol, Dungal le Dol, any Tarbatam Kimba Tubig Niba Yora. Then Kimba Sewa Niba Samdua, Sange the Chibara, Idam Gilara. Dinde Lamala, Idam Hangwig decision, Dugora, Idam Hagi Jilab Jugor. Karsana Lama Koran, Idam Hagi Kirim the Gungora. One Nandu, any Idam Haru Kirim Gomna, one Angro. Chitang the Kirim Namne Yevara. These are the Cause Babeta, Kimba the Sewa Niba Yang Dua, Idam the Jesus Tumba. Or since something to dig it in Song Lamala, then Idam Wigi, Dushishani, Mugu Gomna. Rang la Idam Gizil of Jugar.
So I misheard a term there. It wasn't a mutual intentionality. It was the guru's mindset of benefiting the student in being free of samsara and attaining liberation. Continuing from there, if the guru has all these qualities present, and I'll repeat that to avoid confusion, the unbroken stream of the instructions on the Yidam practice, and the unimpeded sacred covenant or samaya, and some measure of experience from doing the practice themselves, as well as the genuine mindset to benefit the student by giving them access to those means for attaining liberation from samsara and reaching liberation, then all of those things together is what makes the guru correspond with the Buddha. It's what makes the correspondence between the guru and the Buddha equal. In that case, then, when the student is able to gain the instructions on the practice from the guru, has those instructions and puts them into practice, takes them into experience, then the practice of receiving the empowerment from Yidam deity has a clear passage. The student can activate that empowerment in their mind stream, give rise to it in their mind stream, cultivate it so it grows further and further, all the way to the level of Buddhahood. And with the mindset of benefiting the student possessed by the guru, that is the excellent quality of affectionate love, which is the equivalent of the affectionate love of Buddhahood. Seeing the Buddha, seeing the student in this way and providing the instructions for the practice is the knowledge of the Buddhahood. It's equivalent to the knowledge of Buddhahood. So now we have the affectionate love and the knowledge of Buddhahood present in the guru as the direct equivalents. And together with that, there is the power, the capacity to bestow the blessing to liberate oneself from suffering and attain liberation. So now that is the third quality of enlightenment, the power and capacity. Together with the affectionate love and the omniscience of Buddhahood, the guru is now equivalent in the three salient features of enlightenment and is able to bestow blessings. The student is able to receive the blessing of the Yidam as though they were doing so directly through the guru. The guru provides the instructions on the creation stage practice, that is the context for obtaining the empowerments. And during the actual practice, the student is able to connect with the Yidam deity through the creation stage practice. And this is the case because of the equivalence of the guru with the knowledge, affectionate love, and capacity of enlightenment. This is what activates the whole process. It all builds on the perception of the guru as inseparable from the Yidam. This is what gives us the receptivity that allows us to receive the blessing.
ini dua digi len tagda chungsa kalsana dini ama gyune jilap chugo baba mera guru direct khadu jilap chuge lagda ini guru rum chila khadu wang chu thuna yagodo ilam gilhala ilam gilhala khadu wang chu yemido jilap sanadini chödi jilap ngomade chödira ji nane wangdira da wangla jilap chwa garayo re jilap ngomade wangdira jilap ngomade chödira dile jilap tigimida di jilap di dine sangeda 상계단에 가도 쉬어야 믿어. 뒤에서
So this addresses most of these questions as they were asked. There's a common thread to all these questions. And for example, if you're saying, why can't I just supplicate to the Buddha Amitabha or the Guru Rinpoche, whatever you like? If you can do that, if you can receive empowerment from Guru Rinpoche, please do so. That's great. You should definitely do that. But what's the point of the Yidam deity meditation practice? The point is that that we can't directly receive the empowerment from Guru Rinpoche, etc. When that's the case, when we're not able to directly receive empowerment from the Guru Rinpoche, Amitabha Buddha, whoever it may be, then we use the Yidam meditation practices as a method. And then what is the actual blessing that's given? The blessing is Dharma. Dharma is the blessing that is bestowed, the blessing that we receive through this practice. Again, if you can get that blessing directly from the Buddha, go for it. That's great. But if you're not able to do it, this is the way to go about it.
이는 구르르무 정에서 라마 땐 투긴 되니 나를 구르르무 제 뒤값을 중요하라. 그래서 개발상 보라. 이는 건설의 뒤깔바디 중요하라. 다들 내가서 나랑서는 구르르무 제 문결도 요마라. 고결라. 먼저 구르르무 정에서 제 투에기 미기 요마래. 구르르무 제 숭에서 터투에기 암조 요마래. 되니 구르르무 제 숭당 구르르무 제 꿀랑한도 미기 로마도 안 바래. 구르르무지랑 가서 무슨 두어 슈트야 말이야 국바래 가서 어제단더니 난좀 구르르무지 통역이 명매별 농아 구르르무지 숭토역이 나와 매별 현바 구르르무지랑 무슨더니 두어 슈트야기더니 제매별 국바 딜라 되는 간서 미예배 거치 암조예배 거치 제예배 거치가 성인데 소리 라마르드래 제단 뒤에다더니 라마드 상계를 까딘 하고래 세디 디레다 어디인데 라마데 예발을 때니 이담당 절와당 깔와 찍바 이담기 하지 숭퇴바당 깔와 찍바 중하러 제단되니 라마 상계를 까딘 하고 김선지라 라마라 때니 이담기 구통투 거래 라마라 때니 이담기 숭퇴도 거래 제단들이 가서 미기 예배 거쳐 나와 예배 거쳐버디 라마 나란스단 깔와tum바 타말기 수수 된다 되니 이담당 가서 받아라 대화 차디 되니 간지 이담무에서 통마투겐디 이담 토바다 이담무에서 통하던 깔와냐 바정으로 이담기 숭무에서 퇴마투겐디 이담기 숭무에서 퇴바단 깔와냐 바정으로 되니 이담기 왕토 이담기 경골라쇼 되니 게름기 nemne 제야요 되니 더중 라마를 땡기면 남는데 되니 쳐져야입니다.
For those of us without the excellent good fortune of seeing Guru Rinpoche directly, just as we perceive anything else, then there is this method. We are not able to have this stable good fortune to perceive Guru Rinpoche directly. We are in a state where the presence of Guru Rinpoche, which is pervasive, is obscured to us. It's not something that we perceive with our sensory experience. Our eyes do not see the form of Guru Rinpoche and its enlightened body. Our ears do not hear the enlightened speech of Guru Rinpoche. And even if we could see Guru Rinpoche with our eyes, our tongue would be struck dumb. We would be as though we were mute. So how is it that we're able to engage with an experience of Guru Rinpoche? If we're able to have that sensory experience, then we can go ahead and do it directly. But if not, If our eyes do not see Guru Rinpoche, our ears do not hear them, and our tongue is not able to speak to him, how do we experience Guru Rinpoche? Who has the capacity to do this, to open our ears to the enlightened form of Guru Rinpoche, to open our eyes to the enlightened form of Guru Rinpoche, open our ears to his enlightened speech, and loosen our tongue so we may speak? It is the Guru. It is the Guru that has the ability to do this, the Guru that has the ability to make the connection between us and a direct experience of the Yidam deity face to face. It is a Guru who is able to share the excellent good fortune of perceiving the Yidam deity, the Buddhas, etc., with us. Is this not a kindness even greater than the Buddhas that the Guru has with respect to us? It is based on relying on the Guru that we have eyes to see the enlightened forms, ears to hear enlightened speech, and the power to speak of it. It is by making the connection between Guru and Yidam, seeing the Guru as inseparable from the Yidam, that our good fortune is evened out, comes up to the level of the Guru as Yidam. Now we have that connection, that direct connection. We can receive empowerment. We can abide in the mandala of the Yidam. We can now actually undertake the practice with effectiveness. If we just toss out the Guru, where is that going to come from? We can't do it.
대바진라 빼중 권열 요였어. 어디 나저sem가 구르면 저 대바에는 구르면 지금도 고치라 열었어. 기내양 왕수야미도. 그래서 나도 미기 통통이다. 제통이다. 아니 구르면 저 숨도 최통이다. 디엔드 가서더니 나랑라 무슨 구르르 저기 최송신 구르르 쳬래더니 마 규베 담아 송신 이 구르르 저기 왕난견 라마디 구르르 쳬 섬나더니 디 구르르 쳬라 구르르 쳬 고틀라 이는 구르르 쳬 라마마이 김자 가르래 디엔드 나랑라 라마디 구르르 쳬래 대바이는 나랑라 구르르 쳬라 गुरु में जो गोठिले ये ना लामा ना में भी किंतन कर रहे लामे में तुझे में भी किंतन कर रहे लामे तुझे ये ना लामे तू दी गुरु में जो ना लामे सुन दी गुरु में जो सुन लामे कु दी गुरु में जो कु में भी किंतन कर रहे तेरे
Guru Rinpoche himself has a saying about this. He says, to those who have great faith in me, I am actually present as though on a throne on the crown of the head. I am right there with them. So that's good. If we have great faith in Guru Rinpoche, it is as though he is actually present. But we still can't engage the empowerments. We still don't see Guru Rinpoche on the throne on the crown of our head. We still don't come face to face with Guru Rinpoche. We still don't hear Guru Rinpoche's enlightened speech. What do we do? Who's able to make that connection for us? It is the Guru who is able to be the embodiment of Guru Rinpoche, as though we were directly perceiving Guru Rinpoche that is already present. It is the Guru who serves as the basis for accessing the enlightened speech of Guru Rinpoche, for accessing the empowerment of Guru Rinpoche, etc. if the guru is inseparable from Guru Rinpoche in essence, if there is this unbroken continuum, etc., and we see the guru as Guru Rinpoche himself, why wouldn't the guru serve all of the purposes of Guru Rinpoche? If we have faith in the guru as Guru Rinpoche, it is not only the case that Guru Rinpoche is present on the throne at the crown of our head, but the guru is what makes that happen. Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't the guru be the Guru Rinpoche on the crown of our head themselves? Why wouldn't the guru have the enlightened mind of Guru Rinpoche? Why wouldn't the guru have the enlightened body, the enlightened speech, and the enlightened mind of Guru Rinpoche when all of these connections are in place? What would be the reason that's not the case? Think of it like that.
Hola. Dini lama di sini changa kogre sini zo di gare lamna dini kurang la dangwa gi giba yogora wang dang dangwa gi giba yogora ini niba di gare lama la tsewa yogora dini lama kashi gi sungna kadambe lama gomba tse sungna dini sini diya changwa tsu dina chikna la dugre su ge chushi di chik di gare lamna dini lama di se dile se chima galchimbore labgen ji go re so kurang gi samkin mila labgen tanda da se dile simba me ba go re so di damga gi giba ye dile tamse manyam di gangla dine se dile simba me ba am simba yena yang chung chung se dile se chima galchimbore labgen ji go re so seni di zo re so da di pe geshin boyin sara da se dile simba yena dine 신청이 왕도 도디 거리지기라나 로마기 대바여라 로마기 대바디 미스유스 지그래요 로마기 무기들 미스유스 지그래 디클카보라 어딘다더니 그리고 세들의 신밤에 로마는 닝지에나 dine 로마기 무기들 미스유스 지그말
Of all these critical features, the salient features of a guru as described here, the principal ones are first, this unbroken continuum of the teachings and empowerment for the Yidam. And second, it's affectionate love for the student that wishes for the student to be free of samsara and attain liberation. There are sayings of the Kadampa Geshes as well that say, if you take all of those salient characteristics that make a guru a fully qualified guru and condense them into a single point, what would that point be? The point is that the guru should have an understanding and they should walk the walk and talk the talk of future lives being more important than this. In other words, the single most important feature is that the guru not have a fixation for this life, an obsession or reification of the things of this life. So if you put all of that together, we have the side from the secret mantra that the instructions and empowerment be present in an unbroken stream, that the samaya, the sacred covenant with the guru, remain unbroken, and that the guru not have a fixated attachment, reification of the things of this life, or at least very, very little. So if that's the case, if that's the salient case, then we've got the crux of the situation here. This feature of the guru valuing future lives more than this is absolutely essential. Why? Because if there is this fixated attachment to the things of this life greater than future lives, and the student bestows their faith in that guru, it can be misused. The faith of the student is misused when the guru has a fixated attachment that cares more about the things of this life than future lives. The point misses the mark. And this is an extremely grave error, an extremely grave problem. The faith of the student is misused when it's taken up by a guru with attachment to this life who does not see future lives as more important.
Hola. Today in the Gasu, any cousin Potoagi, Potoamare, Kadambe, any Lamagi, Lung Danswa, Lama Chinlap Chetan Chua, Nguela Main, Rangla Rale. Labdikasu, any Lama di, Sangi Winnie Re Mare, Tito Mare. Lama la Sangi Mugi Shukchumangaranga Yore Mare, Titore. Didn't Narangla, Diro, Sini Song and Lama de Da.
Nade.
And the Sini Song and Lama di, Sangi Re Mare, Tito Mare. Di touch a Kabura.
Nade.
Sangi Res, touch a Narang Sangi Ingora. Dimina Sangi Garis touch over. Did so Maresme. The Sini Lame Sini the Tangana, Dila Narangi Sangi Dishi, Chema Bashana, Narangla Sangi Resme. Karijan Lama, Gurumachi de la Yora. Narangi Gurumajitana, Gurumachi de la Yora. Narang Deva, Gurumji Godamla Yores, Narang Deva, Lamala maybe in the Gurumji Yora. Dindi, Gansa Kuran Gurumachi Main and Narangi de Gurumajitana, Gurumachi de la Yora. Dindi, Naranga Gurumachi Roa. Dindi, Gurumachi Chilla Jugura Mala. Dinda, any Nala, any Lama di, Gurumachi the Jibara. Gurumachi Chilla Jugura. Di Narangi Mugi de Tem and Dillarala. Di Pedi Dundaki Tingiro, Penanga Michel di Michel Yoro,
Nade.
Michel Dilla Nimagi Melingiro, in a Michel the Delishana, Nimagi Melentumara. Michel the Nimana direction fit dogora. Michel the test Jonah in the made legmare. Michel test Jonah and then made legmare. So the sun and Magio and that direction Tata fit gora. The Garire and Lama Sangis the movie Yoameba. Peshagora. Pe Kurangi the Jiguar. Chungor than that. Pela Samadana.
We saw earlier a quote from the Kadampa Geshes that says, the extent of the blessing we receive, greater or lesser, does not depend on the object bestowing the blessing. It depends on us. So what this quote is saying is that the critical factor in whether we receive the blessing and to what extent, whether it is great or minor, is our own devotion. It is the extent of our devotion that determines whether or not we're receptive to the blessing bestowed by the object granting the blessing. So it's good when we have a guru with a full set of the salient features. Let's assume that much to begin with. Without that, as we see, our faith can be misused. So if we have a guru with the salient features, it is not seeing that guru as a Buddha per se that by itself determines the extent of the blessing we receive. The principal factor is the amount, the magnitude of our own devotion and its stability. Whether or not a guru, even with all the salient characteristics, is actually enlightened, this is something that's very hard to measure. We would have to be a Buddha in order to measure that. So how in the world are we going to gauge whether somebody else has all of those features? If we did, we wouldn't need to. We would already be enlightened. But when we have this perception of the guru as a Buddha, as Guru Rinpoche, and we have the faith that combines those two, why wouldn't the guru serve as Guru Rinpoche? We have faith in Guru Rinpoche. We have the understanding of the guru as Guru Rinpoche. Of course, the guru would serve as Guru Rinpoche for us. That is how it works. That is how we actually are able to receive the blessing of Guru Rinpoche by saying, I know that Guru Rinpoche is present for me. I know that the guru is the very embodiment of Guru Rinpoche. That is what allows us to connect with Guru Rinpoche's blessing, to receive that blessing through the conduit of the guru. So it's up to our own stability in our devotion. Whether it is stable or not is the critical factor in whether or not we receive the blessing. It's really important to look at these examples, not just listen and say, oh yeah, I get it, but really think about the examples, even from different angles. If we look at the example of the sun, the firewood, and the magnifying glass, the magnifying glass or the prism has to be trained in a very particular way. Trained meaning has to be directed between the sun and the firewood, just so, very precisely. It has to be aligned correctly. There has to be a proper fit. Otherwise, the sun won't light the firewood. If we take the magnifying glass and we just swing it around here and there all over the place and wave it around the firewood, the sun will never be concentrated onto the firewood. It will never ignite. Just so, our devotion has to have a very precise fit. It has to be unmoving from the Buddha, from enlightenment, with this unmoving, unwavering, stable devotion that is exactly directed in the precise way to Buddhahood. Then we have the direct connection. We're able to reap the harvest of the Buddha's blessings and receive them. If we really look at the example with care, we can see all of these elements and how they apply to our situation.
Lama latene any Gurumishi Chilab Chubadi, Lama Gurumishi Himbala, Mevan Gubajena, Gurumishi Chilab Chuguri, the Gurumishigi, Wang Hinare, Gurumishigi Tama Hinare, Di Lamagi, any Di Cuba, Gurumachine, Lama Badu Cuba Parma Chavayabache, Di any Lamanga, Musu Tong to Gore, Musu Chel to Gore, Lame Sumusu Che to Gore. But this Jatan Guru Machine, Ma give it, Lama Latine Tubiku, and the Nankin the Guru Machine, some Mugi Vayana, then Kurangi sung the Guru Machine Sungre, and Kurangi could the Guru Machine Gure. This is the Guru Machine lifestyle, living Guru Machine. The Christian is hard, because the Guru Machiki Tawadang, Narangi Mugini, Tawachara. Ring the hook ni Yam the Torah.
Nate.
되게 그랬고 람나다 얘는 ngārāṅ sui mūgī dāng gurūma che tsawa nī di 얘는 툭 na gung zom na tēla tēne tēne jilab chukwa gurūma che jilab ngāla shu tēne ngāgi simgī la tiba da sunam ki tsawa sa nyam tokwa gyula ke disu sama yungwa ra chire di kari lagu war tēndel ra di nima da meshel tuna me yunga ya bada tēndel ra di 구름이 저기 지금 간소라 낭샤야 말이 간소기 롱샤야 말이 이네 간소 먹이든 구름 지 투진이 투는 된 질라 중요해 봐 되네라 지난 상기기 되네 디바 트에메 둥을 설마 때문에 했던 매 송라 제가 가서 소와 땀나 중요해 봐 그래서는 구름이 지 저샤 말아 구름이 지 투지에 간소 먹이니 좀바라 되네 된적이 왕이 용거라 된적이 질레라 맞아 그런 식으로 디버트 두고 말아 눈을 뜬 두고 말아 상기 송사라데 두번은 디버 취 두고 말해 디버 아니 눈을 삶았던 만나시 뜬 두고 말해 이내 거리지기라서는 되니 tumnan diwa chui midushin doya dungal chaagi misela niki tokpa shenla po minte po tokpa di dini shendala khala tewa na hite tuku mares chikpa di gurumi shenla chikpara sangi ki dino naya maya sonra wana dana nga so dini mugi jini sowa tamna nga sola jilab chugaya yabadi gararaya labdi kasu di diro mara tendel jini yongora da ngansui mugi dang gurumi jitsawa ni ene tukpala tene dini tendel tukpe tendel ki wangi dini ngansui gyula yendendi shargira wadi di tendel ki shunira wadi jitang dini sangi sungna nge kyola tharbe lamdengi thaba rangla ra legre sungra di chibare da gururma che ki jilam ngala jugure mare di ngarangla ra legre sangi ki jilam ngarangla jugure mare di ngarangla ra legre sangi di sunre dini sangi ki nangshaye na ngato mogi jego yamedwa soatab go yamedwa di nangay mebadi garasana tender ra chetum je tender ra 어쨌든 드네 먹이 기는 소화다 왜 되는 텐들 들고 왔다 텐들 되냐 പെണ്ണ മിസ്റ്റലത്തിന് നിമേ മേലെ 텐들로 어디래 니네 상격이 최대 텐들 맞도 텐들 많이 봤어요 말해 최tum제 텐들에 손에다
What is all of this saying? Well, this is saying that it is by means of the Guru that we're able to attain the blessing of, for example, Guru Rinpoche. Here we're speaking about a Guru who has an unbroken stream of the teachings and empowerments with respect to Guru Rinpoche without interruption. And on our end, the reverence and gratitude for the Guru that makes that connection. Again, we're not able to see, hear, or speak to Guru Rinpoche directly, but this connection is what allows the Guru to serve as the embodiment of Guru Rinpoche. When all of these are together, our reverent gratitude and this unbroken stream from Guru Rinpoche, then the Guru's form is the enlightened form of Guru Rinpoche. The Guru's speech is the enlightened speech of Guru Rinpoche, etc. The Guru breathes life into Guru Rinpoche for us. Guru Rinpoche comes to life. The Guru serves as a living Guru Rinpoche for us. Why wouldn't he? When all of these points are in place, then what happens? What's happening is that on one hand, the affectionate love that Guru Rinpoche has, the love that Guru Rinpoche has for beings, connects with our reverent gratitude, our devotion through this connection of seeing the guru as Guru Rinpoche. It's as we explained before with the hook and the ring. The hook of Guru Rinpoche's love is able to latch on to the ring of our devotion. Then what happens? We can be led away by the love of Guru Rinpoche. Like a live wire, that blessing can be transmitted directly. We're able to receive the blessing bestowed by Guru Rinpoche. And what happens in our mind stream is that the obscurations are purified, the accumulations are gathered, and meditative experience and realization is able to become active and suffuse our mind stream. Why is that? How is this possible? Interdependence. It is because of interdependence that this happens. Just as with the sun, the firewood, and the magnifying glass, where all of the interdependent links are just so, the result naturally arises. Here too, we have this situation where our eyes do not perceive Guru Rinpoche directly, our ears do not hear Guru Rinpoche's speech directly. Without interdependence, without a way to connect, there's no way to actually engage Guru Rinpoche. The supplication does not become active. But on the strength of interdependence, the function of all of those pieces coming together is that the reverent gratitude that we have in our devotion is able to connect to the love of Guru Rinpoche. This is a necessary feature of how the path works. The Buddha himself says, I cannot take the suffering away from you. I cannot just give you the happiness. He teaches us that he cannot give us our realization like giving food to someone. He cannot take away our suffering, our wrongdoing, like cleaning stains away from clothes. What he can do is lay the teachings in our hands, and then after that, it is up to us. This is the force of interdependence. The interdependence is what makes it possible for us to give rise to the excellent qualities in our mind stream of the Buddha, of Guru Rinpoche, and so forth. It is the natural property of interdependence that when all the causes and conditions are lined up, the result arises. This is just as the Buddha taught. He is giving us the teachings on the path to liberation right in our hands. It is up to us what use we make of it. If it were not the case that there needs to be this interdependent connection, then there wouldn't be any reason to supplicate. The Buddha would have handled this a long time ago. He would have relieved us from suffering. He would have granted us a realization. But that's not how it works. It's not possible for the Buddha to just hand us realization. Why? Interdependence. There needs to be the correct establishment of interdependence. We need to set up all of the pieces of the interdependent connections, just like the sun, the firewood, and the magnifying glass. If they're just laying separately, the sun, the firewood, and the magnifying glass without any connection, nothing happens. It is when they are all aligned in just the right way, when that interdependent connection is set up just so that the sun is able to ignite the firewood. The Buddha teaches that all phenomena are governed by interdependence. He has never said that things can happen absent interdependence.
Hola. Tin za tin nga zo ta nga zo da ani jilab da mögü da söde la tin jilab ju mi ju söde so 상마 tindelgi 캐시시 거래 난지 심규당 상계기 투기 니기 버달라 드버서야디 아니 상계기 투제당 난지 mögü 대바도 mögü 니 델네 드니 난지 심규당 상계기 투기 드버 차도도 그 드니 상계기 투기레 난지 심규레 질랍 포에 자와디 연구하라. 페나가라서 등성 modern technology 기 상가다나. 되는 것도 구글 맞아 인터넷 나라 구글 나라다 맞아 디 아니 그래서 그러 파일 타미다 망고요래. 이네디 먼저 컴퓨터 나라 다운로드 제거나 free download 망고요라.
Lare.
이제 free download file 망보지 되네 upload 제셔래. 이 정말 free download래. 이네 먼저 컴퓨터 나라 아니 download 제초거래. 당부 먼저 download 제라 컴퓨터 거라. 컴퓨터 나라 프로그램 거라. 텔레 인터넷 connection 거라. 텐델 디 상화 소거라. 인터넷 connection 얘나 디가라다 라서가. 어때? 텐데 상화 소디 가서 아니 디나라다 가서 그래서 그래. 가장 되게 가장 거라. 디인다 디 상화 텐델 디 소소나 디 구글 당가서 대화 차기래. तेजा नरंगी प्रोग्राम करे गुगु दी ताने ने चूस चने दे ngado डाउनलोड जे छोगरा ओ दी द चिबरे संगी सिदि को गरे लन तंबु सिमजिन थमजि गि जुदु चाजु छोदु सिमके देनी कल्प मंगबो ला देनी सोनम गि सोसा सिमजिन गि छिदु दी सिमजिन गि छिदु मोजे जिलब दे सोरादा सिमजिन गि छिदु देनी सिमके सिमजिन गि छिदु मनमता 몰람지 두개 기치도 수능 그 서사 디르거든요 심기다 몰람당 수능 수능 이식서 타르치네 상게 바로 디인지 심진의 편집 파일 업로드 프리 다운로드 망보여 업로드 제셔라 디 프리 다운로드 이 상게 찍 말이야 상게 상마 되는 싫어 ini ngansul computer ya maretni computer ya nang din program ya na internet connection ya mare tambu deba me niba mugi me sumba sulde me odi dadni ngansul sangi chilab gi mugi to dera di sangi chilab me ba maro ngansul mugi me baro 어디다 난투기 무기기 텐데 소나 근데 가상 가담에 라마지기 송송에 롱다임 봐 가담에 라마지기 송래 심진 레레기 고토라 상계 차상화 레레여래라다 나도 그것도 근데 상계 거더래 장매 봐라 상계 레레기 인진 장매 봐라 심진의 캠바다 저와다 니바 상계 메게 봐라 디 차상화 심진 상황이 레레 고라 여래라 이내 안솔라 상계기 무게도 되라 가르제네라지 상계 매비 김세 말에 안솔라 무기 매비 김세라 대바 매비 김세라
Using devotion and supplication as the means for receiving the blessings of the Buddhas is a feature of interdependence. This is putting interdependence to work as a way of receiving the blessings. How is that? We have our own mind stream on one end. We have the enlightened mind of Buddhahood on another. In between, how do we make that connection? The interdependent connection, the links between our mind and the enlightened mind of Buddhahood are faith and devotion, reverent gratitude. This is what makes the connection between our mind stream and the enlightened mind of Buddhahood. When that connection is complete, when it's actually forged, then the blessings of the enlightened mind of Buddhahood can be received by our own mind. There is a transmission of blessing from the enlightened mind of Buddhahood to our own mind. It is the connection of faith and devotion, reverent gratitude, that is the live wire that is able to transmit that blessing from enlightened mind to our own mind stream. There's examples everywhere. They abound. Let's look at modern technology. There's the internet out there somewhere. There is Google, which allows us to search the many files, the many different information sources available for free download on the internet. They're all out there waiting for us to download them for free. Somebody has uploaded them and they're out in the ether. But in order to download them, we need a computer. We need a program on the computer, a browser to access the internet. We need an internet connection. If any of these are missing, then we can't do the download. But if we have all of that, we have the computer, we have a browser, we have Wi-Fi or some other internet connection, all of that is in place. All of the interdependent links are set up. It's that live wire. We're able to download whatever files we search for on Google and wish to have. So that's how it works. Someone has gathered an accumulation of files, uploaded them, and Google is ready and waiting to make the connection for us. We're able to choose the files we want and download them, as long as we have a computer, a browser, and an internet connection. It works. Without it, it's as though it wasn't present. The same example applies to our situation. What are Buddhas? Buddhas are beings who have established the mindset of bodhicitta, the motivation of the awakening mind for the sake of all beings. And for countless kalpas, eons, they have gathered the merit to effectuate the benefit of all beings. They have made aspiration prayers. All of that for the benefit of beings. They have made dedication prayers, dedicating the merit of their virtuous actions for the sake of all beings. This is a grand accumulation of merit, and together with that, a grand accumulation of non-dual wisdom. The consummate perfection of the two accumulations of merit and non-dual wisdom is a description of Buddhahood. All of this has been uploaded for our benefit. All sentient beings, this means you. We have access to free download of all of the merit and wisdom uploaded to Buddhahood, not by just one Buddha, but each and every Buddha, all Buddhas. Just as with the internet connection, just as with the internet, if we don't have a computer, or we have a computer, but we don't have a browser, or we have a computer and a browser, but we don't have a internet connection, then there's nothing to do. We can't download the files. Just so in our case, if we have faith, devotion, and supplication, that is the live wire. Without the faith, without reverent gratitude of devotion, without supplication, there's no way to connect to the vast gathering of merit and wisdom that is the perfect and complete state of Buddhahood. It is faith, devotion, and supplication that makes that connection. So what does this say? If we do not have the blessing, is it the fault of the Buddhas? Because Buddhahood does not have blessings to bestow? No, it is because of our own lack of devotion, our own lack of a connection. The Kadampa Geshes also stated in a quote we saw earlier that on the head of each and every sentient being resides all Buddhas, infinite in number, with boundless excellent qualities of knowledge, love, and power. Why can't we access those blessings? If we cannot access the blessings, the reason is not that the blessings are not present within Buddhahood. The reason is that we lack the faith, the devotion, and the supplication.
Ore, tidorda. Then other Gagargi, Lovin Chigasore. She Yala Tobnamni, Kugi Yanda Dubla Gang, Nangi Tobda Masan, Chivan and the Dungal dance. Penanganzo Dungal Kevegi Dungal Kyoberjibe Yala. Sangi Namgis Drupsimberes. The Dagila Sangi Tamjigi, Simjing Dundu Semke, Simjing Dundu Sonamki Sosa, Yeshe Sosa, any Simjing Dundu Malam Tap, this Hama Drupsara. The Nanzu Dungale, Kyoberjebe, Yaladi, Drupsares. Sangi Resindu, Sangi Mamboyara. The Nanzu Dungale Kyoberjebe, Yala Chigmare, Mamboyare. Sangi relation to Dupsare. In a dinning Nazo Garjin Dungal Yare. The Sangi Sura, Dungal Dingazo, and it's Hermatamana Hitan Tugumares, Sangi. Or the Yala Dingazo Tovella, Maransung when a Tindal Sangora. Or the Nangi Yala Masawe. Simji relation to any Nangne Tindal Sangwe. Keber Jave Tindal. Keber Jebe Tindal the Sangsara, Yaladi. In Rangone, Cabra Javet, and Yala de Masamares, the Garre, and Sangela, Yeshe, Debegone, Teni, kept to Doaham, Lokevadi, Masamares. Tundashina, Kerang online, Yomare offline race. The offline is the internet computer and Tutumara. That Sangi is the tender race. Sangi Jabapamara. Nazo Sangi Jilas, the cheating Jabapa Shego Mara. Tijetan Sangi Sura, the Ni Kiran Dungal Didini, Thermatamana Hitan Tugumare, Diba Chula to Tugumare Sura. This soon goes to Sangi Jabapamara.
So it's like that. A Pandit, the great master of India, also talked about this, saying that the outer branches, the outer components of this interdependent situation are all in place. They are all complete. It is our inner interdependent connections of attaining those that are not complete. So what does that mean? If we look at what are called outer components here, this refers to the ability to serve as a protection from suffering that all the Buddhas have already accomplished. All Buddhas, as just mentioned, have given rise to bodhicitta, the mind of awakening, for the benefit of all beings. For the benefit of all beings, each and every Buddha has gathered the stores of merit and made aspiration and dedication prayers for the benefit of all beings. That is already done. That is complete. That component of the interdependent circumstance is already in place. Not just by one Buddha, each and every Buddha, all those countless Buddhas have completed this component of the interdependent infrastructure that allows us to connect with that blessing, with that realization. So if all of the components are in place from the side of the Buddha to protect us from suffering, if each and every Buddha has completed what is necessary to serve as a protection from suffering, why are we suffering? Why are we still suffering? It is just as the Buddha said, I cannot free you from suffering. I cannot wash away your wrongdoing with water. It depends on interdependence. So that's the last part of this quotation. Our our piece of the interdependent infrastructure is not complete. We have not completed our side of the interdependence. This means that we have not actually cultivated genuine conviction and faith, refuge, and the mindset that turns to the rare and supreme ones. We are offline. Until we are online, have a computer, have our browser and our internet connection, we will not access this sphere of protection from suffering. The Buddha teaches that everything depends on everything occurs interdependently. Everything originates with respect to a interdependent, interconnected process. The Buddha is not a creator God. He does not bestow blessings just because. That's not how it works. The blessings of the Buddha depend on interdependent connection. And this is why the Buddha says, I cannot wash away your wrongdoing that yields suffering with water. I cannot simply grant you blessing of realization like handing you food. I can give you the teachings in your hands. It's up to you what you do with it.
Lama rangi lama di ngarangso the chikyang mi suksu nangi wa sangi gi sen sangbo yende ngasa tongwa mar chegyo mare ene sangi gi sungya yangla duju yende ngasa chagyo mare ngasa the chikyang chegyo za dine tamal gi mirang re songora ma di sangi yinsi gi mare sangora ine di ngarangso sangi gi namthar sangi de so ngima chanchu semba himbe kapsu tene semjingi dunde semjingi dunde molam gartab yarlana tene nga maung bala semjin disala kare phemba yana di susu nawasho samba de bala samba men de bala men dido nawasho dido nawa gone kunzala phemba dubasho tene semjin susu kalwa tumba dundola dundogi susu nang kunsogi tene phemba du mila mi susu nang kunzala phemba du Dito yung show molam tab yore di molam de dubro tarsin ra di molam de duge gi ne sunam gi soyang di molam duge gi gyu sunam gi soyang sa yora sa thara di danda sangi nam semjena phembe chi du sambagi number nang semjena phembe chi du mengi susuya nang roden nang gora semjena phembe chi du dundo gi susuya nang gora ina ngansola dada lama di mi susu nang ne ini sangi gi zebangu se kyang wara wang nang long nang chi nang di begi lama chi gi sung re nganso diba ngarang se simgi la diba chimbo yesul de la ta na sangi lamar nawa sangi lam mi susu nawa de yang sunam chimbo re sung de 키당 dundola manawa di peya gores ini sangi gi molam tabdi ini dundola zusu nawa shawasane molam tab yara ini dana gana sala dundo manawa ji mi nang ne lama nang ne dini sangi gi thile wangda damga na di pe mesa kari chimbore yasore motra chimbore kari chimbore yasore din da dini dilla tamal baredo sene sange gomtugudo sanna pe norware sore tangre lengin dibe chitela sange miru nawang yagrabi sore kidan dundurmanang sonam che sore kidan dundurla manawadi sonam chimbore sore Mugu ning keji shagese shagetobagi loma daso ini lama tamal bar nang na tamal bar de la sangi ngu gi duji sha sore kidan bongbu lama na ya bore sore mila na de pe bore na zo sangi su thongma doji mi thong mi su su thong to de ka wa sang bore sore tin za nganzo mi na wa di lame kye mare nganzo kye des Lama Yendere. Not the Sangi Tombo Tungi, me, Tom, me, but Lama Kin married, Lama Yendere, not to get this. The Gansu Lama Kin, Nandan Garan Kin, Lama Kabne, Sangi Gungumi, Sangi Lama Kin at the little Chilapshu, Katu Chilashu. There is some Yamara.
Our situation is that when we behold our guru, we see them in the form of a human. We do not perceive the excellent qualities of Buddhahood, many in number, that they represent for us. They're just like us, a plain old person. We do not see them as a Buddha. Nevertheless, when we look at the activity of the Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas, and so forth, who have given rise to bodhicitta, what is it that they intended? What did they aspire to? They aspired to benefit all beings in whatever way there might be. For those who need food, they want to give food. For those who need medicine, they give medicine. Whatever it may be that beings wish, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas have made the aspiration to appear in the form that they wish. Tsampa, medicine, whatever it may be that beings require, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas have aspired to appear in that form. They have made the aspiration that there be the ability for those who have the disposition to perceive it, to attain benefit in any form there may be. They made countless aspiration prayers to this effect. And not only that, they've perfected those aspiration prayers completely. They've completely perfected the gathering of merit that makes those aspirations effective. And all of those prayers were about the benefit of all beings, of us. May I be Sampa for those who need Sampa, medicine for those who need medicine. May I appear as an animal if those need an animal, whatever beings need, may I appear in that form. Then the guru arises. He looks like a person. We do not see him as the Buddha, but there is the Buddha. They are giving us empowerment. They are giving us reading transmission. They are giving us the instructions. They are doing everything that the Buddhas do to benefit beings. And we see them as an ordinary, plain old person. There is a saying that says, if you want to know the extent of the obscurations in your mind, this is what you look to. To what extent do you see the Buddha, the guru as Buddha, as being a failing? Actually, the guru appearing as an ordinary person is incredibly good merit on our part. We are actually seeing the enlightened activity of the Buddha in a way that we can access. This is an incredibly good fortune. If we're able to see a dog or any other animal as the Buddha, that's wonderful. Seeing them as an ordinary person is wonderful. This is the active presence of the enlightened activity of Buddhahood. This is incredibly marvelous. This is an amazing kindness. So we see the guru as appearing as an ordinary form rather than as a Buddha as a problem. This is a grave error. The fact that the guru appears in an ordinary form that we can access is a great good fortune. If we're able to see the guru as Buddha, that's wonderful. Seeing a dog, an animal as Buddha, that's wonderful. This is the power of our devotion that is able to give us the direct connection to Shakyamuni Buddha. Seeing the guru as an ordinary person is what allows us to actually connect with the enlightened activity of Shakyamuni Buddha. If the Guru did not have that form, how would we connect? Seeing the enlightened activity of Buddhahood in a dog, in an animal, in a person, whatever it may be, this is a sign of great merit. This is why it is said that the fact that the Guru appears as an ordinary person is not a failing on the part of the Guru. We think it's a failing that they do not already appear as a Buddha. It's not a failing. It's our failing. It's an excellent quality of the Guru that they appear as an ordinary being with whom we can connect, whom we can perceive. It is our failing that does not see the great merit of being able to connect with Buddhahood in this form. And instead we say, oh, the Guru is just an ordinary person. And we insist on being able to get the blessing directly, even though there it is in the form of the Guru, accessible to us. We turn away. We insist on something more. This is a grave error.
Lama Gyangbo signal Sangi Munang Lama Mirasong Songdoa.
Yeah.
Lama di Sangi Mui Nansula Lama any Lame number Naware. Then the Sangire, in Nansula Lame number Naware. Correction Nansula Sangi Chegi Mig Yomara. Digim Senemata Sangi Mai begins Zemare Lama de Sangi Mui. Sangi Mui in Rangi Lamar Namare, the Rangi Lamadi, Sangi Mueres, in a Nansugi, Mirusumare, Laticos Nala Mir Namara. The Dela Sangiredi, Nala Mir Namainza, Narangi Namadi Semazira. In Narangi Nawala Dembersera. The Narangi Nawala Dembersi, Narangi Nawala Semerzinza. Tini Narang Garanawa de Demba Indi, Tini Lama Sangi Yisigmaro. Tini Lama Mirusum, Sangi Muredi, Hine, Narangi Lamadi, Mirusum, Kimsing Garelana, Narangi Nawala Semazin, Narangi Nawa de la Tempershimbares. Naranga Garanawa de Dembare Samra.
When we look at this verse, it says, my Guru, the actual embodiment of Buddha, I take for an ordinary human. What is it saying in the first line of this verse? It is saying that the Guru is actually Buddha, but what we perceive of the Guru is an ordinary human. We count this as a failing of the Guru, that they are an ordinary human, that they are not actually a Buddha. But that is not the case. They appear to us in the form of an ordinary human, an ordinary person, but yet, nevertheless, they are actually Buddha. The failing is one of our own. It is on our side. Why is that? Why do we take the Guru as an ordinary human if they are actually Buddha? Because we reify what we experience as true. We experience an ordinary human and we take that to be true. We seize on the characteristics of our experience and we insist on its reality, just as we perceive it. This is what prevents us from actually perceiving the Guru as Buddha, the actual embodiment of Buddha. They already are actually Buddha, but to us, they appear in a human form. And together with that, it's not just the appearance as a human form that's the issue. The issue is that we then seize on those characteristics and reify them, make them concrete. In other words, what our take is, whatever I experience is true, nothing more.
Hola. Dela tene 그런 거는 담섭 준비 거린 넘기지에서 아니 라마 타말비 숙수 나와 미 숙수 나와 상경의 연락 상경의 임발라 상경의 총마 tumchingi 미글로나신 나랑라 나랑기 갈와다 준비 미 숙수 나네 미 숙수 나와더라 아니 랑기 나와다도 세머 미 타말 버송 탐라 버랑송 딜라 때네들 라마라 록다로 될 때네들이 그런 거 남섭 준비 거진 넘기지 상경의 수평나양 상경의 나양 델레하 숭야메바 상교 고반 토베기 람 차상와 마너와 고림 마주와 상계기 송반낭시 된셔베 거진디 넘기지 제도가래 대서 말에 디강라 랑제 마중세나 이체곰 랑기 대바나시 마중지 되니 라마를 껴졌다 되니 콘트로사 지구어래요 소리 랑기 대바나시 마중나 대서 말에 디강라 세제 남라 최소 로데디 라마기 제바 거리나네 탐제라더니 연전도 마다와지 껴졌다고 그래서 나랑 견도 통과라 나랑 거래 통화지 된바로 띵자들이 라면 세주 통화라 아니 견도다 록다지 아니 이니기 태선사 진짜어제네 지지가서 라마를 먹이 줍도 거래서 대바당 당당도 먹이 줍도 거래
Then the verse continues explaining the situation in which we find ourselves. Based on the situation of taking what we perceive to be true and nothing more, we look to the Guru, the actual embodiment of Buddha, who is appearing in an ordinary form because that is what accords with our level of fortune. Or actually you might say our level of misfortune. Our misfortune is such that we are not able to see the Buddha directly. We're not able to hear enlightened speech directly. We are as blind and deaf to enlightened form and speech. Yet here comes this guru who appears in a way that accords with our misfortune so that we can connect with all this, so that our eyes may be opened and our ears may hear. What happens? Because we see them as an ordinary being, as it says in the verse, we start to develop wrong views about the guru. They are just an ordinary being. Even when the guru is overtly presenting the various benefits of enlightenment, presenting the teachings of the path in a way that is complete, unmistaken, and in the correct order, we forget. This is what is stated in the second line, quickly forgetting the kindness of the teaching me the profound essential instructions. What happens is because we are still seizing on how the guru appears to us and not recognizing that as our good fortune, the great kindness of the guru in appearing in a way that we can perceive. We forget the kindness of even the direct benefit of teaching us the profound oral instructions. And as it says in the next line, when my wishes are not fulfilled, I despair. In other words, when the guru doesn't do things just as we want, when what we want does not get fulfilled, we become angry, we despair, we lose heart. And then what happens? This is what's stated in the next line. View my guru's actions through a veil of doubt and wrong view. So what's happening here is it's our failing not to see the guru as an actual embodiment of the Buddha. Not seeing that appearing as in an ordinary form is a great kindness to allow us to access the blessings of Guru, but not recognizing our failing as our failing, we project it onto the Guru. And this is what gives rise to wrong view. This is what casts a veil of doubt over our faith and devotion, obscuring them.
Hola. Tinda o lama la tamal sung tene lami kadinje ani lami zebat zeje la logje trip ani rangje majung ala ishe gom o dedewe tene kye mangbo lama tamal sung ala tene kye dira mangbo chung digi tene lamgi sangagi lamgi ningbo mugu trip do gore 지지도 가서 되네 세직 루지라 상계 보관 투투베기 상하기 람기 깔와 체도고 람냠연지게 깔와 체도고 대좀도 맞다더니 상하기 람라 주고라 간도 이네 상하기 람기 규라게 깔와 체버던데 맞에 아니 최당 라마라 담식 냠네 이 디버시보사 치마 편체 명성도 돼 유튜브거래 지지도 가서 그렇지 잘해 medicine become the poison. Did you say so? Never the medicine the Dukchas on the Nigar, never the Jay Toshi Yomara. Or didn't I see the any sort of Miruma Shagre? Yes, 오 내려오더니 차로 거래 어디 인사더니 빼면서 그래서 내가 좀 보라 어디 하고 어디 가서더니 그래 용 그래 이 내당 될래 돌거라 돌래 내당 뒤 아니 탑도 보임 바당 네바 침보 임바 나 니시게 되고서 어니 아니 네바 될래 돌고도 선배 삼로 게이라 네바들레 돌아디양 낀 망보 요래 디나니 집 라미 질랍 주거들에 디 시게도 가서 되네 라마 계셔그러 되네 예시기 켄 투지 뉴르도 세 니베 거네 무기 디메도 페와라 질랍 나로낭 되네 선들들레 거라
So the situation is where we find ourselves. Seeing the Guru as an ordinary being, not perceiving that as a great kindness and as a product of a great merit. We even forget the kindness of the Guru in presenting the instructions, the affection with which they work our benefit. Instead, we develop doubt and wrong views with respect to the Guru when our wishes are not fulfilled. This becomes the basis for heaping flaws upon flaws on the Guru. We now have many reasons why the Guru is flawed, and they continue to grow. This serves as an obscuration to the path of secret mantra. It is what interrupts the good fortune of being able to actively engage in the secret mantra path, to actually bring that path into experience through practice. And not only that, but when we see the Guru as so thoroughly flawed, when we interrupt our fortune to practice the secret mantra, we are impacting our samaya, our sacred covenant with the Guru and the Dharma deteriorates. Based on that deterioration, we fall into wrongdoing and gathering any number of misdeeds that lead to rebirth in the negative realms. What has happened, this great medicine has become a poison for us. What's the case in that situation? We are suffering now from a disease that has become incurable. The medicine handed to us has become poison. We cannot use it to treat our illness. When we see this situation, this is an incredibly important point. This is a crucial point of practice. Seeing that desperate situation, we long to be free of it. We recognize how necessary it is to be free of it. We see ourselves as a patient in need of a genuine medicine and in need of the ability to actually use it as a treatment. How do we do that? We recognize that it is based on the blessing of the Guru that this has happened. Lama Khenpo spontaneously arises. We call to the Guru spontaneously when this is our felt experience. Mari.
Dichane lamle hachang tharum gore pena deba mugu yomare di kalgin madeba logda di yore di indigo lam dan rawa tamare lam dubye ge ni ngonde che yoro di yang athra yomare di mebe gala ngondo gi che diso gi doksho di ngandre shukchim boyore opposite madeba logda dan di ngandre shukchim boyore di indigo solde rimba ni banu na di tengi do di manzo lamale hajang 타는 거라 di shebe gone de lamala 동에베 겐 디서단 달 연된지 토백이 치도 람이 진럽라라래 버세 아니 라마 상길을 하고 거딘데 아니 뭐기 진에 소하다바디 림반이 버들어 네 신다 통화 디더더래 어디 림바 숨바디다 디 림바 당군이 버니 디드니 군족이 온도 재밌네 아니 라마당아서 경다른 보인바 시 아니 경다른 부디 경다른 보인바 시네 되니 딜레 돌레기 양 라메 거딜라라레 버세 아니 라마 상길을 거딘 하고 메구 게네 되니 소아데바디 군족이 온도 재네 소아데스드레 타마데드니 된동기 온도 재네 소아데스드레 투이 에르메드바 징기로 세야데
마리
지직디 지금 숨디 직바라 가상공도 드시 시사서 드니 설데 고만데다 투이 에르메드바 징기로 세야데 투이 에르메드바 징기로 세야데 드다디 거라는데 된데면 내루고 온도잖아 나랑스 셈기 내루다 라메 투기 아니 툭치기 군이니 켜버려 말아 상행 켜버려 말아 김진 거라는 나랑스 셈기 친이 랑신담다라 셈기 친이를 주마야 말아 셈기 친이 대신 보라 내가 살자지 샤버를 잡아 충세매서 살야기 그냥 가야 말아 연대 서도 샤야 가야 말았어 이 찬이 랑신담다라 난돌에 꽤 망보여래 얘네 숨기 랑신다 친이래 말아디 배는 남가를 timba여래 남기 랑신을 timba여 말아 가시 랑 timba디 남기 랑신을 timba 남양 상미세 봐라 진짜 시집어래 출라 욕바여래 얘네 욕바 추이 랑신을 말아 가시 욕바디 추이 랑신을 추땅마 짠에 차스기 말아 필터 제 여비세 봐라 욕바디 추이 랑신을 매도 필터 제 여러 어디나시 나랑솔 디마여레 셈르 디마여레 이네 셈기 랑신레 여마라 랑신 넘버 다바라 어제다 랑신 넘버 다 셈기 신인디 아니 라메 툭 치기고당 뭐 이르메레 소레 디 이체게나데니 투이 에르메르 버칭기로 사야데 선데도 영으로
This second part of the supplication proceeds very much in this same vein as the verses we've looked at. And when we see that this is a text for calling the guru from afar, we can see how that applies in these first two parts of the supplication. In the first part, we saw that the supplication is one that sees that the excellent qualities of the fruition of the path, such as the guru possesses, are very far away from us. They're at a great distance from our present state. That is the stance of the first part of the supplication. The second part of the supplication takes the stance that what actually activates the practice, allowing us to take the path into our experience, is also at a great distance from us. This is a feature of the guru that is out of our reach in our current state. Features such as faith, devotion, etc., are at a great distance from us. And this second part of the supplication is what reveals the obscurations of the path, activating the path in our mind stream. That is a result. So what happens is that rather than possessing the qualities that activate the Dharma in our mind stream, we are in this various stages of the second part of the supplication, looking at our state of lacking faith, of having wrong views, a doubt, etc. We are being very straightforward and frank with our situation. And when we are frank about that, we see that now the guru is far from us again because of that. So here too, we are calling the guru from afar. In both cases, we are calling out to the guru with great longing. See the great distance between us and the excellent qualities of the fruition of the path and the features that activate the practice of the path in our mind stream. With the great wish to overcome this state that the first two parts of the supplication bring, we have the understanding that it is based on the blessing of the guru's great kindness, greater still even than the Buddha, that we spontaneously call out to the guru with great longing. This is the stance in the first two parts of the supplication, which take the perspective of apparent reality and call out to the guru with great longing from that stance to be freed of the situation in which we find ourselves. We've then explained the way to supplicate the guru in those first two parts, which take the perspective of apparent reality. The third part of the supplication is the very last verse, which I explained previously at the beginning of the teachings. This takes a perspective of genuine reality, supplicating to blend, to mingle our mind with the mind of enlightenment. That is the blessing for which we supplicate in the last verse. And what does that mean exactly, to request the blessing that our mind and the mind of the guru be as one, be intermingled as though it were a single entity, single thing? The mind of enlightenment is the Dharmakaya. Our mind and the mind of Buddhahood is not different at all from the perspective of genuine reality, which is the perspective of this last verse, the third part of the supplication. From that perspective, the true nature of mind is free of all obscuration, free of all stains. It is the Buddha nature. It is the nature of our mind, perfectly pure inherently, intrinsically pristine. Despite the fact that we in our present state have all these various failings, those failings do not ever taint the true nature of our mind. That true nature remains pristine, like the sky when the clouds clear, no matter how thick the clouds, no matter how dense and how much they obscure the sky, when those clouds clear, we can see the sky directly, and never at any time did those clouds taint the sky. This is the situation that we find ourselves in. There is nothing troublesome in the Dharmakaya. If it was intrinsic to the Dharmakaya, then there'd be no way to filter it out. It would just stay that way. But that's not how it is. There is nothing troublesome, no obscurations, no stains. The stains that are present to mind in our stage are transitory. They are not intrinsic to mind. Mind's nature is pristine, perfectly pure. The nature of our own mind and the nature of enlightened mind, the Dharmakaya, are the same. This is why we pray for the blessing of realizing the indivisibility of our own mind and enlightened mind, perfectly pure, intrinsically, untainted by any flaws.
Hola. Di indi kosa dini lami tukdang rangi semni eni ngo irme yinba. Rangshin nambar dawi chuni ki chani ngo irme yinba. La yichi ki dini ngo chani irme yinayang rango mashibe tangzin marikbe wangi eni ngo shiba da mashibe kebaro. Nganzu rango mashini tuldeyo re. Eni lami tukdi rango toba tarchine eni doldere. 어디니 랑어 시바다 마시베 왕게 출바다 저에 켜버지 중하러 어디니 자더니 랑어 시나 당신도 돌기로 디인도 가서더니 난저다 남의 투다 난저 셈기 켜버 그러려나 켜바다 춘나시래 켜바여로 아이스
나래
아이스 기 랑신디 출하러 말해
나래
이네 남의 춘 남에도 하고 도라고 타고 남에도 와 이네디 당리기 깽기로 랑신 말아지 당리기 깽는다나 그 출을 돌도도 캬고의 출을 돌도도 어디나 지금 간지 쓰면다 출벌 나와디양 당진 머리비 랑고 마시비 당진 머리비 왕기 아니 출벌 나와르마도 당진 머리보다 달나 아니 랑기 랑시 예시도 돌거로 어디인지 이것도 라면 투다 나랑이 셈 엘메라 된라 엘미나신 된라 모라 엘미 임나시 남발라 엘미도 그러기로 디로 이세기네디 딱 난소 아니 랑고 마시비 칭와디 블레디야 라메 질랍라라레바 이세기도 것들이 선제도 레기로 주의 엘메도 바치기로 소와데서 담아를 보지 동의보다 비진식 가면달라서 켈레메 주의 엘메도 바치기로 선제도 레기르네 규딜라드네
To say that our own mind and the enlightened mind of the Guru merge as one, that they be inseparable, refers to the true nature of mind, perfectly pure inherently. Having the confidence that this is the case, that in essence, our mind and the enlightened mind of the Guru are inseparable, indivisible, impossible to distinguish, because the nature of both is perfectly pure inherently. What does that mean? That means that whether or not we perceive our own true face, is the poetic way it's described, whether we recognize our true nature or not, that is the distinguishing feature of realization. The ignorance that does not recognize the true nature is the delusion under which we are laboring. When we are freed of that delusion, when that delusion becomes separate, when we separate that out to its perfect and complete extent, we recognize our own face, our own true nature. Liberation happens naturally. This situation of enlightened mind and our own mind being the same in nature, how can we understand that? We can use the example of ice and water. to understand how that is. Ice, by nature, is water, yet it appears solid. It does not look like water. It does not act like water. It looks and acts like stone, hard and solid. But this is only a function of the conditions that made the ice possible. As soon as those conditions are alleviated, as soon as the conditions are removed, then the natural property of the ice as water naturally comes forward. The ice melts on its own, and the water that it always has been is immediately present. So it is due similarly to the power of the delusion that does not recognize the true nature that we are in the state we are in. When we remove that delusion, then the natural state, our mind and the mind of enlightenment, inseparable, their essence the same, perfectly pure by nature, is apparent. The essence is always indivisible. And at the point where we are removing delusion, then it appears as the essence indivisible. The essence and the appearance are now aligned. When we have confidence in that, when we believe that this is possible, that this is the way things are, and that it is based on the blessing the gurus provide, that we naturally and spontaneously sing out this supplication of the last verse of the prayer, which is now in the chat. Precious Guru, I supplicate you. Kind Lord of Dharma, I cry out to you with longing. Unworthy as I am, you are my only hope. Bless me that your mind and mine merge as one.
All of that and the shit to do just something, want to say a so. Then a long theology like to the long jitting. Was there now.
So that's all the time we have left, and that is a brief explanation, all that it's permissible in this time, and that gives the essential points. I've been requested to give the reading transmission, the lung for this text, so I will do that. Please attend well to this reading transmission.
Namu Guru ye Lama Gyamba Kunda Tachi Chiloko ni Kishi Jungi Gu Kadam Sikama Imbara Ningi Kil Ribiting Ki Lama Le Hagwe Sangi Shina Meva Tachi Vengi Shina Debe Yanda Nibe Lama Kino Digital Lama Kino Sangi Gingo Longa Damjugi June Pado Ginjungi Nada Ataya Lama Kino Chilak Tuji Tajin Gudu Damjugi June Chile Jindu Gundu the Toya Lama Keno Lama Obama Keno Jella Chugu Long the Digi Dasoling Power Canum the Jan Davision to Drone the Lama Chile Kino was a long long the Digi Rudu in the Chief Condom Power Don to the Lama Bema June Keno Naya Bema when the Digi you give me one the two Rani the Lama Yeshe the Kano the Zero Kando the Kaja the Zinton the Didn't also see better the target donation about the Kadere Given Lama Channel to the Yeshe on the YouTube and Mangato and Toby Nimasha, the Kungi Jimmy or the General on the Kada competitors on the Nashi Tarish, but the Nemejo, the Kadel Hagi in the Tony Nijin, which is a regular girl to chop my metal the Gendoji in the don't charge good. Chungu Chugu is the 지금 조금만 바뀌는 크게 produce the 주문 때문에 기본 돈에 나서 무슨 잡아도 거기 치시 중계 캐노로 나도 비신데 뜻이 내가 왜지 저번에 님도 타로 심어도 이제 너무 기능 근데 에메노는 남자 조금 전에 성회람 저저서 님이 성박거기 캐노 남자 상계신데 이제 토로님은 님네 수신 전에 메로 동주님으로서 이제 동네 경우기는 좀 투지로는 이제 때문에 또배도 저네 농세는 라마도 이제 파지 담바상게 캔노 내려 두게 있는데 기비 지나는 말씀에 때문에 처음에 잡아들지 마제 람이 담아게나 싫어 퍼진노는 이제 너네 님지 때문에 체지 너네 줄에 된다고 그지 군견 도바상게 견하는 거 초대 있는 포에 오는 오머를 전에 umar gane portal doji kutub je jedun tarana da genana puni ine de doji semo geme dune chale kajono wa doji cheme kidi wa kino kini shi ine de mishelo ime ba sane kino nawa gebra je wala tibe de kino jadu ngeno de timo singi temana ne chono bongo 장주 제제 배마 동안은 봐 걔는 제동 주면 논에서 결론 계속 공부하다 다기 용서 공유 제제 나와 있는 게다 걔는 이 성주 논에서 나와 있는 수익 신의 동주 남도 친해서 계속 그래 다에 걔는 잠나 인증원에 되게 조금 이제 파멀신에 지금 매년 내분에서 제 배마 걸게 와서 걔는 제가 대인데 동아의 신가로 전에 방송인들이 저러 제 대니 용도로 걔는 지진이 이제 이제 매근 나와가 걔는 돌려더니 좀 봐도 디제인 사회 남아키는 지도 대신 이제 라리 쇼를 시전에 지제 성계적으로 제 개만들의 숨지는 게 통매되는 그걸 유행 경한다는 동안 담면용이 왜 교실 기지도 야마게 왜 남아키는 수준이 이중진에 개발진이 넣어도 저쪽에 밑에 동생이 근데 메시지 자회다도 이제 돈은 전진 타바르블레로 너비 능내라는 로게 남아키는 수준이 되는 미래되는 로가지기 남아지 사정도 같이 기면 다 지진이 바로 아니라니 지금 유는 드랍제면 라마키는 투제 유는 노멜로나 통화지기로 인도도 사실 소도 텐네사고 있는데 신기 체별링에 쇼도 보는 남세 버도 돌며 그러게 라마키는 투제 유도 지금 거면도 가지기는 집에 멤버나 보면서 내기 누머도 비겠는데 미도 신제 번역되는 조강의 동안 용어에 라마키는 투제 유는 소양을 돌아지기로 랑이 르요도 공부에 신경 찌르도 돌면 이제 조금 비가 상벌로 최배 명다 최면 컨트롤 저 라마키는 투제 유도 나도가 예시를 때문에 나도 공부하고 소대도 님몽 표현이 제대 통제 미게 되고 탈비람도 쳐도 맞으면 라마키는 투제 유도 나든 때내 쳐버 신기로 때문에 좀 가다마가게 생각도 되고 님다 통해 이제 매게 지휘 좀 때내 되고 라마키는 투제 유도 semji chudan zhuba zingi lo kawa nyingbo me la nyingbo lo dago doge chido dendo lingi bo lo kuku tanyang goge chido wa me dengi me zhingi lo lama chido tuji nyido sidi lo ye tongwa zingi lo lusen dongal chamo wa mi zi kyang ero dhula mi zi nyido je kinde lumi ngu sun tong yido gyawa mi lo dhubi yunga me lama chido tuji nyido lela ichi gyawa zingi lo dhala dangso nyida chido ki landar nila zingi mada 최신 주된 이분 중국 영화처럼 준비되는 왕보사진 라마 кино 투지 뉴스 님은 다고 쳐봐요 지금도 신의 되는 양다 주변에 나도랑 최다마되면 루드신도 님은 보내 깨나트도 집에 선다는 라마 кино 투지 뉴스랑 랑기 더 지금도 랑기 말랑이 마도 집에서 주변에 보내라지 님은 미게를 쇼기고 결로 양양게 양제 라마 кино 투지 뉴스랑 랑기 통화지게 샤르에서 신라 발발이 겸 니르 내셔랑이 시제 경험 라마도 예매기 릉게 칠라 뜨는 동안 세주는 라마 кино 투지 뉴스 먹으랑게 도와지 겸도 숨게 설대 전에 예매기 인지 뜨는 먹이 위치당하게 최저 기준은 제로 통해기도 막에 라마 кино 투지 뉴스 지지 추서 저월 징계로 나들는 동안 통제지 신배선배 성계도 숨저 계절한도 보도 신데 신변대 신의 실로도 라마 кино 투지 뉴스 다시 저월도 버시기로 성경과 라마미로 담서도 몇 건이 랑데 마종세나 이층은 세전을 서동로도 레라마키는 투제뉴도 먹을 쯤에 봐가지고 라서 성경이 뭐마시 남도 추고 이게 되마도 마저 융만 이게 경만에 랑반내로기 이마제 라마키는 투제뉴도 라서 들어가지고 영의 치와년에 되마도 평이 남주 투제 좀 등일내내 라서 소제면 원이 대신마도 이게 라마키는 투제뉴도 유명 잡혀서 버지기로 물랭이 배님도 들게 어제 투제 동을 기로는 동에는 그 집에 되면 동에 계절에 계약라마키는 투진 유도의 철에 뉴린도 가지고 당보성이 철에 매발라 타마 중적 프로그램에서 트라벨러도 매기세기 덴덴이베 매고 달레나라마키는 투진 유도 담지 탈을 좀 진게로 규시 등내겨 겨울에 진게로 노멜로나 통로 진게로 치와니네 되버 진게로 내라 이시 겨울에 진게로 랑라 버셈 되버 진게로 좀라 선된데 버진게로 경연하는 거 님보라도 버진게로 주민이 겨울에 진게로 내로라시 저 진게로 나는 인구 세브라 징게로 출나시다 저거 징게로 세제 상계 루브라 징게로 소와도 라마로 뭐지 동해보다 이제 저기 갈메달라에서 길라메 투이에메 저거 징게로 술들 메네 개종가 시게 나서르네 고야 르르에서 기반이 저르든 최대에 최대마 섬주 드마다 대화라시도 승계 공을 육지 남의 승인 심바 로제 타이게 송시 대시드베 펀 좀네 침브르게 바겔레 페 네, 라마 디바고 로정 되는 말이 되네 기베스 되게 롱들어질라기도 Tene Lodro Tene me give us Sunday belong thingy. Tene cannot settle now.
It is also good to do a supplication prayer to the lineage with this practice. So I will give the reading transmission of the lineage prayer of the 7 points of mind training. So please listen well to receive that.
To be one boy get a jump down, power to make you in the dinner. Or Lodro give us David don't sell to be one boy get a jump down, power to make you in the dinner. You can not get some vision of Chamdan Nijaji Sunjoshin, Redan the one who was in Bambu Kusali, but Shishonda, Selling Bono, Addition to the Bodo and Shara and the Chakawara Thought. Chamdan Nijaji Sunjan, Redan the one who was in the Chibu Bono, was the Lama, the Hadija together. They bought Pinji the Waba Kashi Tawashan, so the Chamdan Nijaji Sunjan, Redan the one who was in the Suda. Thomas and Bobal in the relation to the Beji Shajo Kunga Shuru, the Shala. Chamdan Nijaji Sunjan, Redan the one who was in Lori get the King and the get an combo by the combo number get a saw the Chamdan Nijaji Sunjan, Redan the one who was in Gelo. Someone relation to the Junior Lodis and Kaman Hado Shembe or the Logitaya Shala, the Chamdan Nijaji Sunjan, Redan the one who was in Gelo. Kakao Doji, Shivin, Beja, Bema, Kidi, or the Dan, and the Tanishina. Rudu, Tagulama, so the Chamdan Nijaji Sunjan, Redan the one who was in a city gave it to the just in a two machine, Gundi, Lama, Toy, Lama, and more written as well as Chamdan Nijaji, Redan the one who was in the Shilong, University. Tesin Lamle, Chimi Dobe San, Yanda Jaju Sunjan, Namanya, Kidin, one of the Jing, Chigi Mangil, Tangzin, Tennessee, Tinny to the Chinam, Chaji Lambi to the Kinny, Lozon Tarus, but Chingil, and then Kigani, Doni, Dang, Kudo Tendegi, Sudani, Sevaji, Kigin Duel, Chundu Tamji, Dagiroji, Lojong Tigi, and other, Lodro Tayagi, so all of that long young Sarson.
So that completes the reading transmission.
Tene Dilva, Dangato Lama Gangu did Sigmambure, Dinza, Chatang Sartumaso. Tene Hine, that and that's all the Shetaware. Digi Shugla, the nation that is a Habur Council. The Tungtung Jet, the Sartumaso.
This supplication for calling the guru from afar has a lot to it. There's a lot of words, and we cannot go word by word through all of them. Yet we have been able to complete a brief explanation that gives the principal meaning. And by extrapolating from this explanation, it is possible to understand implicitly the material we were not able to cover in this very short time.
Today, Khenpo and all Sakar, the translators and audience, on behalf of Jungle Kondo Lodro, the translator, Jamsu Dorje, the Chinese, Lama Yeshe, English, and John Sebastian, Turkey, French, and Margarita Mora and Matty
Castellano, Spanish. Heartfelt thanks to technical team leader Lama, webinar assistant CK Gon, Alfonso Alonso, Patricia Freund, Richard of Equidology Center in Montreal. And also our heartfelt appreciation of Drupon Khenpo Namgyal, our gratitude to the Sangha of Chanting Group and technician Ajalia Punsandoji. And thanks to Tsiring Tashi, the team of the Orient Foundation, Tibetan Monastery Service, which they have been webcasting the teaching of Rigvedoji, study and meditation, and calling Lama from afar will be available in their webcast from May 6th to June 6th. Register are required. And most of all, our deepest gratitude and thanks to Lama Yeshe and Lama Server. And we hope that the teaching on calling Guru from afar have benefited all. We are very happy that audience raised very thoughtful questions, which help further deepening the teaching. Thanks to all who sent questions. We are very pleased that special question of 30th Parinirvana anniversary of Third Jammukondo Rinpoche become very meaningful. Once again, our appreciation to all translators, technical support team. Besides your very busy schedule, you give priority to make the second Rigvedoji online series available to everyone. We trust that near future, you will again support Rigvedoji online series program. Thank you very much, and Sawa Mangala.
last dini o da ngaran so drink tamare dini da kheden ba tsoma la o lama kyangbu gi goa yabu chungwe rawaji ene dela dini dane sungde kheden ba sogi dini lama kyangbu gi nyamnin o sangru doya dang sabru doya dang ene yaru doya gi rawa dang malam chigi dini kheden ba so da lama dang 타 니르 줘야겠더니 저와다 몰라면 하지요.
So that completes our teaching, and I hope that this teaching has helped you develop a good understanding of calling the Guru from afar, this text, and that having developed that, your practice of calling the Guru from afar may become quite profound, quite clear, and continue to develop. This is my hope and aspiration prayer, and it is also my hope and aspiration prayer that that practice will bring the Guru closer and closer and closer to you all.
kasi te dela dene tui ermedu de matu na kya jamala tui ermedu de gidene tendel tigwera ye tendel tigwera ye.
I hope that you all become to the ultimate level of closeness with the Guru, the indivisibility of our mind with enlightened mind. And if that is not something that is possible in this life, it is my hope and aspiration prayer that these will all serve as the causes for the indivisibility of your own mind and enlightened mind in future, that interdependent connection will be set up through this practice.
tene ta tamadi ngaranso nimanga ringla jamguru mi kuting sumbe gongzogi kapsu jamguru mi kuting sumbe any namtardam kadin chesu tembe gone any lama kengbo kola chesam jibe gewa dang shebe gewa nyembe gewa any dela ke gure gewa tene technical gi tadik jibe gewa 라소가 그 차상 직도돔 되네 랑신 심진 탐지 아니 라마라 묘기 지마메인 바 귤라께 미냠 공주펠 타르시네 아니 라마당 투이 이르메드데 라면 고팡톱 상기 고팡톱 도지 창기 고팡톱에 아니 뭐하다 몰람기 섬절 나와라 에쇼.
And now please gather together all of the virtuous roots that have come from this 6 days of recollecting the life story of the third Jungin Rinpoche, and from that recollection, engaging in the various streams of virtuous activity of explaining the Dharma, listening to the Dharma, translating the Dharma, organizing the Dharma teachings, providing technical support and arrangements for the Dharma teachings and so forth, and bring them all into a single packet and dedicate them all to ourselves and all beings in a similar situation, that we and all beings may give rise to the active and natural unfabricated devotion to the Guru in our mind streams without it ever diminishing, but increasing exponentially further and further until we attain the level of indivisibility of our own mind with the enlightened mind of the Gurus and the Buddhas, attaining the state of the Guru, of the Buddha, of Vajradhara. And please make the aspiration and dedication prayers that this may happen.
or duadong gyawang duadong gyawang duad
Ale. Oh, and don't forget the virtuous conduct of asking questions.
όλα μόλαμ σωρона.
Please make those aspiration and dedication prayers.
Hola, tu dice
Tichana Drupon Khenpo.
Rajna fire la tu dice
So
my dad hola tu dice
I thank all of you. I thank you to all the translators, Yeshe, Maite, JS, Margaret, Dojala. I thank you to Prajna Fire. Thank you to you all.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Drupon Kambola.
D'accord.
Namakino.
Good night.
Good night, Khenpo Chukila.
That's a good night concert.
No.
That's a good night.
Yes.
Thank you all so much for attending. Thank you to all the translators and all the help. There's been a lot of thanks already. I think everyone said it, so thank you. Recorders, you can stop recording now.